You played with Cristiano, Luis. Why it didn't work this season? Okay, Cristiano is always doing his job.
Yes, he's 37 and still managed to score some very important goals. And some of key players hasn't performed at all.
Hello and welcome back on Debatable in 11 Football, as always, every single week with me, Fabrizio Romano, every week to discuss the biggest topics and updates on football world. And today I have the big pleasure to be joined by former Manchester United player Luis Saha. How are you, Luis? All good?
Very good, very good.
Thank you for joining us because it's an important moment for Manchester United. We know that the season hasn't been the best one, so they need to rebuild their winning mentality, their winning culture. And so what I wanted to ask you, Luis, to start our conversation, and thanks again for joining us, is about Manchester United season, your evaluation of Manchester United season. There is something positive that we can take from this negative season?
Yes, I think we can. There is some introduction of new players. Ilonga is one of them. Some of players who had to confirm, like Fred. I think some players who needed to up their level of performances has been doing well. Some players obviously don't need confirmation, like Cristiano. I think it was a great introduction again. Was very exciting. So a lot of positive. Some result was fantastic, and some performances was encouraging. But on the same time, it's still very slow compared to other teams. It seems like the improvement is here, but the other side, there is teams who are flying, like Man City, Liverpool, are just playing in a different level. And the Champions League, we have like really improved their squad in a way that you look almost embarrassing at times. So I think it's really important that remain positive because that's the way forward anyway. But yes, when you look at the potential of Manchester United, the history of Manchester United, you're not going to be happy with this kind of like position in the table
Sure.
and the spirit of some players. You know, some body language, some stories on the press, a lot of like talks about contracts and all those things. So it's not great.
Sure. It hasn't been the best season. Also for Cristiano Ronaldo, because I still remember during the summer, Lewis, the people around football and Man United fans, of course, were super excited about the transfer window they had. Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane, and then Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of the market was a fantastic signing. You played with Cristiano, Luis. Why it didn't work this season? Okay, Cristiano is always doing his job, but why Cristiano was not changing Man United results? So what do you feel on Cristiano Ronaldo comeback at Man United?
I think that's a bit unfair. You know, you may try to capitalize in the bad form of a team and saying that you drag Cristiano into it, but I don't think that's fair because he comes and before I said he saved the actual Man United season. So think about that. Yes, he's 37 and still managed to score some very important goals. Let's say fully confident, not understanding the actual requirements, the maybe capacity of these guys to do such things, and now you try to compare yourself and you feel maybe a bit under. Stuff like
Sure.
this happens, but that's not because of Cristiano. I think the position of Man United and the players management has really didn't appreciate enough what Cristiano has done, and I really defend that. So I don't have like any reason why Cristiano hasn't done because I think he's done his part. Wherever like is human, so some games you may consider that he should have done more or do this, but I don't think so. As a striker or as a former striker, I was really impressed, and I don't see the me like putting any fingers on Cristiano. I will definitely look at the defense. Some of the signing took maybe 6 months to shine, so I don't understand. Cristiano hit the ground straight away. So yeah, it's obviously he's a big name, so everyone is going to be focused and say they should have won the Champions League with him, but that's completely unrealistic.
Yes. I appreciate the way you are defending Cristiano, really. But talking about the market, because you mentioned the defense, and maybe they will have to do many things on the market in the summer. But talking about strikers, do you think they need another goal scorer for the coming season? Because from what I'm told, they will 100% go for a new striker. We have some rumors around out about Harry Kane. You also played at Spurs, so I wanted to ask you, even on Harry Kane, you think he could play with Cristiano? How do you see the striker situation at Man United? From what I'm told, Harry Kane at the moment is absolutely not an easy negotiation. Tottenham have plans to continue with him, to offer him a new deal, to keep him and Antonio Conte together at the club. But your feeling about Man United, Harry Kane could be an option, and how do you see the striker situation?
I think it's a very important situation. The moment in time, definitely you need strikers. You need like playmakers. You need like players in any position with full confidence that they can hit the ground. And one of the players who can do that straight away without like trying to adapt will be Harry Kane.
Mhm.
Definitely, he knows the Premier League. He will understand what United side needs because he's a very clever player. So definitely, I will push for a signing like this. Is going to be costing a lot of money, but it will bring guarantees. That's the situation. The signing that we have like brought took times to actually adapt. Some get injuries. Some like didn't play to their full potential, and some of key players hasn't performed at all. So we have like now a situation with Marcus Rashford at the moment. Maguire has been like criticized. So we're talking about big players here. So it's important that the players coming, whatever it is, it needs to really like be a substantial addition.
This is something really important for Man United in the summer, and we will see if they will go and
Yeah.
which kind of striker they will sign. But talking about the mentality, we know how important it is for Manchester United, the winning mentality. You have played in a super winning dressing room, no, with many fantastic players. You were a fantastic striker, so all top players involved in that dressing room, but the mentality made the difference. You think this is the issue for Manchester United right now, and how you can change this process? Because we know how the winning mentality, the winning culture could make the difference in top clubs like Man United.
It is the difference.
Mm,
Basically, that's the only thing I think at the moment is missing. It's the right mentality. I'm not saying that those guys don't want to win. I don't want to say that they don't have a proper understanding how hard they need to be with them, but they don't really understand. I think at the moment what's gonna be making the difference between having a good game and having a sense of
mm,
like like manage the expectation and at the same time drive like and understand how much is important to be not in a comfort
mm,
zone. That's the problem. They want to be in their comfort zone to actually be a good player and be no. Sometimes they really have to do for the team the hard stuff, the thing that they don't like, the chasing, not asking question and say, oh yes, me this or me that. No, just do that. And I think there is in terms of the staff an understanding that they need pretty much like 8 to 10 maybe players who are really, I'm not saying down to earth or something like this, but I'm saying able to
mhm,
sacrifice, like completely not thinking about them and just like saying I'm able to break my legs for. And now it seems like the kind of balance is not right, and there is like too many players maybe thinking about themselves. So it's not saying that they don't have the mentality, but they are not born with this sacrifice mentality, and it's unbalancing at this moment in time where the team really need that. So at the time where maybe
mhm.
things are going well, nothing's gonna be like noticing, oh yes, mentality is this or mentality no, because we're gonna win. But at this moment in time, there is a really need of like sacrifice and understanding what your teammate needs and you need to compensate and all those things. You have to put your all your guts on
To
the
fight for the
floor.
club. Hmm.
Yes, and
Sure,
and and and,
sure.
and when you have that, then you're not going to be criticized. At the moment in times people question it because even if you lose, we don't see that all the time. So that's my
Mhm.
problem at the moment as a fan. I see too many people talking in the press, in social media, not talking, and that's not right. I think it's all about the field, how much you want to show in the field, and that's it. So it's always easy to say. Again, I always say that it's easy to criticize and to comment on things and do it's the hardest. It's really hard. So I understand how difficult it is for them to understand all those things because they don't see them play in such a way. It's not
Sure,
easy. So
sure. Sure, sure, sure. But I like your message, and I'm sure Manchester United fans agree with you because this fighting mentality is something that is needed when you're playing for such a top club like Man United. But for sure, big part of this winning culture that we mentioned when you played was thanks to Sir Alex Ferguson. No, the job he did was absolutely incredible. But what did he do to make you feel an important player at Man United? This winning mentality and this idea to fight for the club in every single game you mentioned.
I think it's a way to accept criticism. You know, like having a
Mm,
manager, maybe even like an institution in some way that is really in line where a player is just a player. You're just gonna be here for an amount of years. That's it. So you have to sacrifice, otherwise someone else is gonna pick your place. So you have to accept someone with a higher rank to criticize you. And at this moment in time, it seems to be hard to get those players like appreciate the opportunity and really understand when they've been criticized. It's normal because those guys got the potential and those guys should do more. And we're not seeing this enough. So the first things to bring the mentality to win things is to actually accept to work harder, accept to be criticized, accept to be outside the comfort zone. This is the winning mentality. It's the thing that you don't see in the field. And at the moment we can say, oh, there is a gap between the top teams. Why? It's because of that. It's
Sure.
definitely that. So Sir Alex Ferguson will be on your back every damn minute to understand you and then provoke you if it's necessary or cheer you up if it's necessary. But I don't think at the moment it's easy. Again, I'm not in the training ground to really see what is going on. But the result
Sure.
at the end is enough for me to comment and say there is something missing here.
Sure, sure, sure. And wanted to ask you about your experience at Man United. What was the pressure of playing for Manchester United like for you on a personal side? And if you can talk to us about receiving his Hydra treatment, because we know with Sir Alex Ferguson in your second game, how was the impact? No, so if you can tell us something of your personal experience.
That's funny because the pressure it's some like it's eye level. Yeah, everyone will be very impressed to play with such a colors to represent. It was huge, but at the same time, people make you feel very comfortable. So I had a sensation where I've been there for a year before I started my first game because people really like doesn't make you feel like you're a stranger. So even sometimes I had like some difficulties. I was really part of the family. So I always like say, oh, I need to play my part, and whatever I do, I am not going to be criticized because this is what I'm here for. I've been given the opportunity. So the pressure was down to the maybe more the manager who was able to actually consolidate the pressure with the fans, with the press, especially all the times. Even if we were winning, it was still like able to block that bad communication, that bad
Sure.
spirit sometimes thrown because United is such a easy target. So the manager was able to really protect us. But inside the camp, we were like, "Whoa, everything is fine, everything easy." So going out there was natural, and we were enjoying it. So it's like it's really hard to say that we started the game without thinking that we're gonna win or we're gonna upset the team, the opposition. And there is like a new era because
Sure.
definitely there is games where you can sense that they know maybe the team is superior to them, and that's not something I ever experienced with United.
Sure, sure, sure. And so the feeling with Sir Alex on a personal basis for you was, of course, absolutely, absolutely good. But now we know how important is for Manchester United to pick the right manager. We have rumors on Mauricio Pochettino, but especially
Yeah.
we have rumors on Erik Ten Hag. Who you think is the right man to do it at Man United? If you were in the board, which kind of manager would you pick for the future of the club?
I think that it's very important to pick someone who's got a kind of like pedigree, understanding how to communicate, with high skill, how to communicate, to change this comfort kind of like way of like talking to the players. Because every time something bad goes to the players, it seems to have leaks in the press. I'm not happy this, I want that, and even if you're not playing well in the field, we can hear that it's really disturbing for a manager. So a manager who have kind of like aura that's not going to allow something like this to happen. And those two profile, I think they are good and good coaches. So they know football. They will really embrace the way forward. The like playing. With speed to score goals and hurt
Sure.
opposition. But at the same time, I have like a question mark on a kind of like pedigree mentality that like players automatically give respect. I really don't know. I like the Ajax manager. I think he will definitely improve some of the players we have here. But it's still really a big job for the board to pick the right one. That's why I think this process has taken so many weeks and months. And I am not going to be surprised that he's still going to be not signed for a couple of months still,
A
because
long one, yes.
yeah, it's a long one. I think so.
Yes, yes, yes. But it's normal. As you mentioned, for Man United, is a really important choice. It's not just
Yeah,
about the manager, it's about the whole project. So
yeah.
it's a really, really important one. And talking about projects that are not working, unfortunately, another of your former clubs is Everton. And we know how difficult it's been this season. They are struggling. Why you think this happened? How is the what is the real
It's
reason,
really
and
strange.
what's going on for Everton in your personal opinion, Luis?
It's really strange because you said it. They have it all. They have the staff. They have the infrastructure. They have a big project. They want to be at least like a Leicester, or not a Tottenham, or Arsenal. Being in the top four pretty much like every season, guarantee. That's not unrealistic. But the thing is, like when you have such an expectation and such a history, as I said, it's a similar example as Man United. May you sometimes try to catch up because yes, you think that you're improving, the squad is improving, the manager is maybe better, the communication, the infrastructure, but other club has speed up the thing. So like when you look at maybe Arsenal and other clubs like Chelsea and Liverpool, and they just like it's really tough. And when you have there and you think that everything is should be logical because you have more money, it's not happening. But in your head, the confidence drop. I think they definitely had like some games where they should have been able to control them better. I don't know what is there, but the mentality seems weak at times, where they should be like very very consistent about the way they are perceived from outside, because it's a club known for being hard, known being tough. And over the years,
Yes.
they had managers who really like to play on the floor, like very attractive football. And maybe some of the games should not be targeted this way. So tactically, he has been wrong. Even if mentally they want to do good things in the right way, I think sometimes it's just about the results. So yeah, it's like trying to find their own identity again, and that's not easy.
Yes. Yes, it's not easy, and they also started to sign, as you mentioned, important players in January, but now it's time to make it work. So let's see what happens with Everton. But
Yeah,
talking about Everton and talking about something positive, Lewis, because we said about Man United, Everton, they are not living easy moments. But David Moyes, he was your manager at Everton, and he's doing a fantastic, fantastic job with West Ham. So I wanted to ask you about your memories with David Moyes. What do you think of the job he's doing with West Ham, and how you see the whole project for the Embers that are doing really incredible with him?
yeah, it's incredible. The memory that I have are really great, because he really like. Welcomed me with open arms when I was at Man United, and really like deliver a speech, sorry, that really makes sense. And I could understand the drive that he had, and why at some point a bigger club will come, because he had such inspiration and such dedication to his job. So I'm not surprised at all that he's doing really really well in West Ham after a few different spells. I can say the thing that I think it did, so I'm sure, improve, is the way he kind of like captivate the movements to go forward. It's a bit smoother than it was when I was playing at Everton, and I feel like everyone have their kind of freedom to play with flair and all that. So it's a big improvement. So as a manager, he did improve. That's the worry of for the Hammers project is the because he's doing so well. I'm sure that the manager will maybe expect at some point to have a bigger offer, and that will be a worry for West Ham because yeah, that's the problem when you are.
He makes the difference.
Yes, so that's that's a difficulty.
Sure. And to be back on Everton, because we mentioned about Man United, the solutions with the manager, and many other things. Everton already have a new manager. They had, of course, Frank Lampard in the past few months. They trust him. What do you think they need in the summer to turn things around? What is the plan? You think it's something similar to Man United, like kind of situation? It's about the mentality more than about the players? Or you think they also need something big on the market? So how to change Everton's situation?
I think it's a combination of of both. The first they need to regroup during preseason, work really hard to build that confidence. Start really well with a few games. Obviously, having those key players playing at 150%. That's not the case at the moment. They are not delivering. You may keep some very important player like Richarlison. There is like definitely some important decision to make at the club. It's a really tough situation because you really have to first stay in the Premier League, and then really keep a big amount of players to really build up that confidence. Like say, oh, we talk about the experiences, we should not do this. We have made mistake, and this kind of project need to make sense in a very short term to mid-term. So it's not an easy one to do, but I'm looking forward to see what's gonna be the overall plan of Frank Lampard in terms of like the players he wants to really bring into the club. It's gonna be an interesting one.
Sure. And super interesting one is what Fulham are doing in the championship. They
Yeah.
are literally flying. Marco Silva is doing a great job. And I wanted to ask you, how impressed are you with Mitrovic? He's scoring tons of goals, really impressive season. And do you think they will be able to continue with something special even in the Premier League next season? Or will be a complicated one for Fulham? So how do you see the whole project and Mitrovic scoring tons of goals?
I think Mitrovic has had showed that in the Premier League he can score goals. He definitely can score goals in the Championship. He's done it for 2 years now. It's like that's not his level. So definitely he's gonna be eager to actually show that he's a Premier League striker level. And I'm not surprised because the guy's got his eyes for the goals. Can play his teammates around. They are very quick, very sharp players with a lot of inspiration. So it's very strong link between them. So it's very nice to see them play. What I have seen the improvement is the defense, but the problem is like how to actually gel that in the Premier League. That I said to you, every club is struggling with where they are kind of in the middle of the table. They're struggling to keep up the pace. And this is the worry that they will have to see some clubs like Brentford or other championship who has done really well at times. So the problem is like it's a marathon, and you really need to have the players right at the start to actually build this confidence that they have shown in the championship. But I'm so glad because it will have been really let's say predictable to see this team like struggling for 1 or 2 more years in the championship because of the
Yes.
yo-yo they done in the last few time. But they done really well and picked up the right players for this amazing journey they done. Impressive one. Remind me the one that we done with Fulham in 2000. So it was just brilliant to see again.
Yes. It's absolutely delighted to see how they are doing. And so congrats to Fulham. But thank you, Lewis. It was a super pleasure to be together. And thank you for joining us on Debatable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lewis. It was a pleasure. And as always, you have been listening and watching Debatable on 11 Football. So let us know your thoughts here in the comments or reviewing the podcast wherever you are listening or watching us. And see you soon with a new episode of Debatable. Remember to subscribe whenever you are. Thank you.